I would like to welcome everyone back to the channel. We are continuing our build, the 1970 Firebird. I'm breaking out my 600 grit sandpaper. This is perfect for removing imperfections on the car. Those mold lines we was talking about previously. The 600 grit sandpaper also leaves a good surface so the paint can stick to it. That's very important when you're doing this. Now, I like to use the back of my X-Acto knife to dig out my panel lines. A lot of times your panel lines will get lost when you're painting, so you definitely want to dig into panel lines and make them a little deeper. Be careful when you're doing this. There is an inscribing tool that you can get to make this job a little simpler and probably a little safer, but I kind of like living on the edge. I feel like this helps me keep my hands steady and paying attention to detail and watching what I'm doing. So the back of the X-Acto knife works for me, but be very, very careful when you're doing this. Yes, I have cut my hand doing this before. Now we're going to get onto the trunk. Just going to dig these panel lines in a little deeper. Again, so give a little more realistic look when we're done. Helps to resolve the issue of paint building in the panel lines. And also you will see at the end, I'll probably add some black accent to bring out these panel lines as well. Now we're going to move on to gluing some of the parts onto the body. I like to do this with the rubber cement. This will actually cause the plastics to bond to one another. It's stronger than this regular glue. Now, you cannot really use cement when you have the car already painted. So I like to do this prior to painting to get that good bond with the plastics. Now also something on this 1970 Firebird, the spoiler was hanging over the body a lot. So I went ahead and brought out what I call one of my sanding sticks. This is about a 300 grit to go ahead and get that spoiler molded to the body. Yeah, I've already glued the nose onto the body, and same issue. I have a lot of overhang, so I'm using the 600 grit and my sanding stick to try to get this issue resolved. And you will notice that prepping the body for paint, there's a lot of work in this, but for me, this is where the motto is made, in the prep before paint. This will make or break the motto. I actually go out of order, out of sequence of the instructions and take care of the body first. Because for me, in these models, if the body's not right, the whole build is off. And please be careful when you're doing this. I'm an old southpaw. I'm kind of used to taking risks with this left hand. I probably shouldn't be bringing this blade back on my finger like this. I'm a little cautious and careful with this, so please be careful when you're doing that. Now, here comes the biggest controversy of this whole model. It's the hood. I can't sit here and come so hard on Revell, the maker of this kit, because I've run into the same problem with a 1970 Camaro I built using an AMT kit. It's just something about these hoods that's completely warped, and you really have to work with this hood to get it halfway decent. I probably spent, I'm not gonna lie to you, probably over an hour trying to get this hood right. That's the best I can do with it for right now. I'm probably gonna have to do a little more twisting and turning to it to get it exactly how I want it. But one thing about this hood, you have to be careful not to bend that plastic. Once you get a crease in the plastic, you mess with, get another kit so you can get another hood. Yes, I've done that before too. Going ahead and hitting the whole body with the 600 now. I've taken care of the whole body now. We're hitting it with the 600 grit sandpaper, so we have a good surface to have that paint stick to. I'm telling you, this hood would drive you absolutely crazy on this 1970 Firebird. Straight up. One more piece for the body, the hood scoop. I'm going to leave it on the spruce for right now, so I can have something to grip my clips with when I hit it with the paint. And of course it needs sanding as well. And I'm also using dry sandpaper. I'm not using wet sandpaper. We have plenty of opportunities to use wet sandpaper later on in this build. All right, there we go. Now it's time to paint the model.